integers. So integers, you will, what we saw, it will not have any decimal points. It will have a plus or a minus prefixing the number. All right. And if you want to represent octal and hexadecimal in the system, you will have the prefix of 0 followed by either an O or an X. All right. Now next is float data type. Now what a float data type is nothing but it's a decimal number. Decimal number means a number with a decimal point. That's what I imply. Okay. So it will have a decimal point, and again this can also be positive or negative. Okay, for example, when I say 3.5, how we will write it in maths? We will write it as 3.5, right? 3 plus 0.5. So this is a float number system in Python. Okay. So when only there are two exceptions in this. Okay. Now, for example, can you see here? I'm writing 0.4. So in this case, I can either, I'll show you an ideal way. Sorry guys. So see, when I'm writing, when I give 0.4, it is given as 0.4. Or if I just give 0.4, then also what it will do, Python will understand that you're giving me 0.4. Same way, now if I give 4.0, okay, it understands, okay, I'm telling 4.0. Again, if I give just 4 point, it will not be an error, okay. It will still understand that you are giving Python a floating number with value 4.0. Okay, only for 0, this rule is applicable. When 0 comes before the decimal point or after the decimal point, you can omit it, but you can never omit the decimal point. Okay. Now, if you don't give the point, now see, when I say type of 4, what will be the answer? Can anybody tell me?
Int.
Int, correct. Correct. It will be an int. Okay. But same thing, if I give type, okay, I'm not giving a 0.0 and thing. I'm just giving 4 point. So see what it is telling me. It is telling me it is a float. Even if my fractional part is 0, but I'm including a point, it means Python will tell it is a float. It will take it as a float. Okay. Now, why this is all important? All this becomes important when you start applying arithmetic operations. Okay. On the numbers, this will create a big difference in your output. All right. We will see all that step by step. But just keep in mind that if there is a dot in the number, it is always a float. Vice versa, if you want to create a floating point number, you definitely have to include a dot. All right. So dot is always compulsory to indicate that a number is float. Yeah, everybody clear till now what a float is? It's nothing but a number with a fractional part. Everybody clear, right? Anybody need doubts?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So next, another thing is, see, when we have a very big number, for example, the speed of light, what will we say? It is like some 3 into 10 power 8, right? So when we write a code, we cannot, see, when I have something like this, say I have a number like this, okay? So instead of writing like this, what I will do? I will do something like, see, in maths, how will we write this in short form? For example, if I have 98 followed by some 10 zeros, how will I write this? 98 into 10 power 8. We'll write like that, right? So same way, in computer science language, what you will do, you will write 98. Instead of that multiplication operator, you will put a E. It can be a capital E or a small e, followed by the power. Now 98 into 10 power 8 will be written as 98E8. You understand? Now this is nothing but 98 into 10 to the power 8. All right. So when I say 98E8, it means, I'm sorry. I'm saying the number 98 will be for, see, can you see? It appended 10 zeros. But what data type it is telling me it is?
Float.
Float. Okay. So this is what I want you to understand. So when you are giving the E notation into 10 power 8 notation in Python, that number will be a float. All right. And this is true even for this. Now, see, for example, if I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like this. Okay. See how it is representing? It is telling 9.8 e to the power minus 9. Right? This is now in maths the same way, right? Now, when I say like this, what we can do, we'll say 98 into, either we will say 98 into 10 power 10, or we will say 9.8 into 10 power minus 9. Sorry, 10 power minus 10 or 10 power minus 9, right? You understand, right? What I'm telling you, everybody? When I have
Yes.
a very small number, we will do 9 power, we'll do into 10 power minus. When you do a minus, you will be adding the zeros before the decimal point. Okay. Okay. So you'll be shifting towards the left side. So this again, how in Python this will be given? 2 minus 10. So if I do like this, okay, it's why it is printing like this? A Python will try to print stuff which is most under, which people can easily understand. Okay, so when I give something like this, also see 0. Now, if I give this, it will just say this because it's just a small floating point number. The same thing if I give with something like this, I omitted the starting 0. Okay, you see, instead of printing such a small number, which see you have to sit and count the number of zeros in it if it gives you output like this, right? So instead of doing that, what it is telling, it is giving me in a concise form. All right. So everybody understood the E notation? Any doubts, ma? All
No,
clear?
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So to recap, floating point numbers, they'll have a dot definitely. If there is a 0 before or after the dot, you can omit it. All right. And when you use the E notation to represent 10 to the power, it will always be taken as a floating point number. Okay.